Three, no. Welcome to 40 Days Closer. It is your host, Josh Legg, and co-host,
Max Angle.
where we are going to talk to some of our college buddies who are living the Christian life. And yeah, we just wanted to do something special for Lent, get things started off. Max, anything you have to add?
No, I just think this is a wonderful experience, be able to talk to some old friends about, how they're dealing with college life and how the Lord has gotten closer to them throughout the years after Everest. So it's gonna be good. I'm excited.
Make sure to follow along on our journey. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, do everything like that. A little bit about myself. I'm at Oakland right now. Something that keeps me going is just keeping in a constant rotation of daily activities, working out, going to work, doing school, that type of stuff. It keeps me active and it keeps me going day in, day out. And then obviously going to Sunday mass is nice, you know. But yeah, it's nice for me to keep in that and also keep in touch with some of my high school buddies like you, Max. It's always nice to reach out to you and just be able to talk in your face. That's a big thing for me. What about you, Max? What keeps you going?
Yeah. So this past year,
Or a little bit about yourself. A little bit
yeah,
about
for
yourself.
sure, for sure. I'll start with myself. So I'm a student at Duquesne. I'm a sophomore currently studying international security studies and minoring in economics. Really just the journey has been kind of a rough one, but it's also been,
Roller
just a lot of
coaster.
yeah, just a lot of highs and lows really. But the highs are coming, coming like later
Yeah.
in life, later in the college experience. So there was kind of time for messing up and then time for coming into myself. So it's been a journey for sure, but it's been a good
hmm
one.
And right now you're currently in a house with some of your youth group buddies, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I'm in a house with some of my prayer team buddies. Some are in the prayer team, some are doing their own thing, but we're kind of just living in community, helping each other out, getting
That's
close to the
awesome.
Lord together. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good
Yeah.
it's a good place to be.
That's really cool to see. So, like I said earlier, we're definitely gonna keep up with these videos. Our goal with this, like our goal starting this, is just to try and get a little bit closer day in, day
Mm-hmm.
out. Obviously, we're a couple days late in the Lent doing this, but it takes some preparation and time to actually get to this point. So, I'm really excited for this. I don't know about you, Max. I'm excited to get this thing rolling. Um, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's special. It's special for me too. I love,
Mm-hmm.
finally getting to do something. Like you said, last year might have been a little rough, a little difficult, but now there's only the only way to go is up. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited to start this journey and just get a little bit closer.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited. I'm happy you invited me out here to help you with this endeavor and just help you, kind of reach other people's hearts and reach other people's experiences throughout college because I think it's very important to reconnect, especially with people we knew,
Exactly. And that's exactly
back
what
in the
I
day.
that's exactly what I was trying, to aim for. This is reach out and just keep up with some of your friends. Obviously we're talking about 40 days closer, but we'll also just check in on them, see how
Hmm.
they're doing, see how things are going. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it'll be a great journey. Our first guest here is going to be Grant. He should be coming on pretty soon here. Max, if you want to take over, I'm just going to text Grant to hop in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so a little bit about Grant before he comes on. He's
We'll wait
been a
for
good.
that. We'll wait for that. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go
Well, I
ahead.
was
My
just gonna
fault.
say he's been a good
Yeah.
buddy of ours for a while. We both played football with him for a number of years. Known him and his dad and his
Yeah.
family for a long time in the
Great
Everest
family.
community.
Great
Yeah,
family. Great leaders
great
at
family.
Everest. Yep.
Yeah, so we're excited to have him on. Excited to have him share his experience with us. His experience and
hmm
how the faith has led him in college and the struggles in between all that. And yeah, just
And
Grant's always been kind of
especially,
a leader in the
yeah.
faith, especially in high school.
Yeah.
A good
Yeah.
example. So
He's always been a good example and a great role model, great leader to younger kids.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll talk to him about what he's doing for Lent, what helps him, what keeps him going, what keeps him motivated. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time here once he hops in. Should be pretty soon, he said.
Sounds good.
Side note, shout out to Katie Preen and her new baby that was born today. That'd be my godmother's daughter, so it's kind of like my second cousin. So she just gave birth today, so that's awesome. Shout out to
That's
her.
awesome. I feel like that's always happening in the Leg family.
Oh yeah, you already know us. Just like Father Gomez once said, the legs multiply like rabbits.
Oh
Just a
man,
little
Father
thing from
Gomez,
Father
the OG.
Gomez. Yeah, yeah. Oh man. So what do you do today, Max?
Today was just school and preparing for this podcast.
Yeah,
A lot of good things. Very active. Just like you
that's
said,
good.
keeping active
Yeah.
is very important. So
Yeah, that keeps me going 100%. Is just being active. It keeps you away from saying it keeps you in a groove of things, and that's what I
yeah,
really like about it. Oh, here's Grant. Grant, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, a little bit,
yeah.
a little cutty, but you're good.
Is
All
it a little
right.
funny?
Yeah, no, you're good though. You're
All
fine.
right, sweet.
All right, so a little bit about background on you, Grant. Thanks for being on the show, first of all.
Thanks
Uh,
for having me.
of
No
course.
problem.
Right now, he's got a 3.7 GPA. He's a marketing major, and then he's planning on working at Blue Cross Blue Shield down in Detroit this summer. So, Grant, welcome on.
Hey, well, yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it, and I really like what you guys are doing this Lent. Goes to show you, we got some good leaders coming up in this world that
Mhm.
definitely needs it.
That's one thing
yeah.
that I said is nowadays, everybody's just kind of like, oh, the world sucks, the world's this. I want to start something, you know.
Yeah.
I want to get things going. I want to be the leader. I want to get things moving. So,
It definitely starts with one person, when
yeah.
one person starts to move in the right direction, he can do a lot and change a lot.
Hmm.
And especially in this day and age, we need a lot of strong young men and leaders. And I'm sure you guys have had similar experiences with the priests at Everest, like what we
Oh
we
yeah.
went to high school together, just guiding us in the right direction and helping
Yeah.
us become the men that we can be. And so that just kind of goes into nowadays. It definitely my high school years definitely had an impact on my life and what I wanted to do when I came to college. But it definitely has had its difficulties at points. Keeping faith and just growing in faith while you're at school.
Exactly. When
And
I'll cut you off right here. When I was talking to Max a couple of days ago, I was like, the faith that we had in high school, it was like it was all around us, surrounding us. Now we go to college, it's a little different, right? So now
mhm,
exactly where you're saying you're trying to keep up and with our high school background, we were raised awesome. But
absolutely.
keeping it going is a hard thing sometimes.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with the point of you are who your friends are. Honestly,
Mm,
I really
Hmm.
think the biggest thing in college is finding a good friend group and a friend group that shares beliefs that like you do. Otherwise, you just fall into habits that are just unproductive
Hard to
and
break. Yeah.
yeah, hard to break. Um, so I've been blessed to find a few good Catholics in my experience at college, and it's nice we've gone to church together. But even going to church alone, I kind of enjoy. It's peaceful on a
hmm
Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it gives me
Oh yeah, I
comfort.
I go to mass alone and it's awesome. I love it. I mean,
Hmm.
my family gives me some shade, but I love going to
Yeah.
mass by
Yeah,
myself.
Well,
yeah.
you
It's
just
kind of
get that that self gratification of I'm not being forced to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going on my own
yeah,
will, and
Hmm.
it's kind of you just building your own will and saying, hey, this is what I want to do for my life. I'm not gonna have anyone pressure me into this. So
That is
yeah.
true.
Yes, I like that point you made, Max. I mean, definitely this is a time in our lives where we are smart enough to make decisions for ourselves and to understand why we believe certain things. Kind of like with psychology classes I've taken, you know, a lot of who you become is how you're raised and what you're taught and things like that. But when you reach a certain age, you can start really understanding why you believe certain things and why you act a certain way. And I think over the past couple of years, I've really grown in that sense that I've definitely found myself and found why I believe certain things and researched more into that. And so that's kind of like a really cool feeling.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Especially,
However, like
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Once you get to college, it's kind of like high school. It's gone. The Everest bubble, you're outside of the bubble now, you know? So now it's on yourself to keep that going. Keep like, do I actually believe this? Am I going to follow this? This is what I've been taught, but now it's my turn, you know, to really grow up and show like who I am and learn who you are. That was a big thing for me. First year, I was like, holy crap, this is a huge step out into the real world, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's definitely not easy. It's definitely not an easy step.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing for me, it was just like, I remember in high school, our senior year, Mr. Molesky, my English teacher, for those that will watch and don't know who that is, he told us that once you start missing mass, like one Sunday, even if it's just like you got that thought in your mind, like, I'm tired this Sunday, I don't want to go, things like that. Once you miss one, then you just start to miss a lot, and it just builds up a little bit. And so I really tried, especially my freshman year, to just start going every Sunday and just get in that routine.
Yeah.
And it was really convenient because Miami offers an 8:30 p.m. Mass.
On
so
Sundays.
Really there is no excuse to miss Mass on Sundays.
Yeah, that's the same with Duquesne. There's like a 9 p.m. And everyone goes there. So it's I mean, there is literally no excuse, you know.
I'll tell you what.
Absolutely.
Now that you brought that up about not going to Sunday Mass sometimes. So when COVID hit, you know, obviously there was no masses, no in person. But then when the in person started to come up, I was kind of looking and I'm like, you know, I can watch it online this week. I can watch it online next week. And I kind of was starting to fall into that habit. And I'm like, crap, I need to start, you know, going
again.
Yeah. Exactly. So I know exactly what you mean. It's hard to get back into that routine of things.
Yeah. So, I mean, just that in and of itself, I think is like, it's so important for your week. You know, you just start your week off strong, go to Mass, and then you get your work all done. I just feel like you feel way better about yourself.
Oh yeah.
But one thing I've struggled with a little bit when I come to college now is that in high school, I was really good about saying night prayers. And I've really struggled with saying night prayers in college just because there's a lot of distractions going on at night.
Yeah.
And you'll come back and just it slips your mind, and before you know it, you're asleep. And that's just one thing I've struggled with that I would again, I want to get back into. It's one of my Lenten goals is to start saying my night prayers again.
So
again, it's just building habits.
Oh yeah. Now that you got into the Lenten stuff, let's talk about is there anything special that you're doing this Lent, or anything that's keeping you going, anything that's you know, that you really want to do? Or
so this Lent I decided to give up a few things, and I kind of wanted to go like every different category. One, I think your body is so important, and it's so important to take care of your body, and I mean, it's a gift of the Holy Spirit, so you really should take care of it.
Yeah.
And so I gave up all fast food. I don't want to have any more late night fast food runs or whatever like that. I think it's just not a good thing, you know. Just got to get that out of the way. No. I did exclude Chipotle though, because I need something. Well, and I'll see. Here's the reason why. At the house I live in, my fraternity house, that we have like a service, a meal service, and on Fridays it's not like they do no meat, or so it's literally all they will have is just meat.
Okay.
And so I wanted to pick one fast food place that's like not even really like fat, like it's a healthy fast food. So Chipotle is pretty healthy, and so I can go up there and get a vegetarian bowl on Friday. So it's really just reserved for that, not like anything.
Yeah.
And then so that was kind of like taking care of my body a little bit. One, to improve myself a little bit, is I gave up saying the F word. I don't want to say that. Yeah, it just slips sometimes, and so that's definitely something I struggle with. Language is good to just, especially as you're entering the professional world. You want to speak professionally, and so I think that's a good thing.
And since you gave that up, you start catching yourself. You're like, I can't say that, you know, and it gets you into that habit again, like what we said earlier. So That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another one I added is I didn't give up. I said I'm going to start saying my prayers every night. I even just started small with an Our Father, a Hail Mary, and a Glory Be.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Just again, get the train rolling again and
Mhm.
start to get into those habits again. And then lastly, I added trying to say one rosary per week. I really have been slacking with my rosaries. I was big with them. Yeah, I was big with them in high school, but just when college came around, I just haven't had a chance to say them that often.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess
Yeah,
I
for
do
sure.
kind of had the chance, you know. So one thing that I did is I started saying morning prayers on my way to work. So I guess I do have some time to say rosary, but that is a really good point that you say. I should start, you know, at least a rosary a week. That way you get into it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and even when I'm like, it's like the simple things too. When I'm driving down to school, it's literally a 4.5 hour drive. It's so easy to just turn off the radio for 20 minutes and say a rosary.
Exactly.
It's something that you just gotta get in the habit of doing.
Mhm.
And so those were basically the 4 things that I'm trying to do for Lent. And I was talking to some guys here that you know are doing things for Lent, and Lent is really a time where you can totally change your outlook on everything.
100%.
Like you can really change yourself.
I totally agree.
There's one kid in my fraternity house that's given up sugar, just all sugar. That's more of like, again, a body thing.
Wow. Yeah.
And then there's a couple other my friends that are listening to podcasts, kind of similar to what you guys are doing, which is kind of cool. They're not giving the podcast; they're just listening.
Yeah, listening. Yeah,
not as much as you guys are doing.
Get a different outlook and see, like, just listening, you know, to people talking about the faith is big time, and that's what I strive to do here. You know, start that seed somewhere. Max, what do you is there anything on top of your list this Lent?
Well, for one, before I talk about that, I wanted to applaud Grant on the aspect or goal of morning or of prayer daily, because as a person who does morning prayer every morning, I can just like notice the fruits that it's given me in my life, you know, especially in college where you can struggle with a lot of things, especially like sometimes impurity is a big thing for guys, at least in college. I just want to applaud you on that, because that's a good thing to do. But another thing that comes in mind was just, you know, when Lent comes around, you always want to set all these goals. And that's kind of funny. It brought me back to the high school days where Coach Pernicka would bring in Coach LaRosa talking about, you know, how to set goals and to make them attainable and all these things. So one important aspect that I was like trying to keep in mind this year was, you know, make sure that my goals are attainable. Make sure that I don't set too many where I will get down on myself for not completing those goals. So that's something to keep in mind for anyone who's trying to, you know, set goals for Lent.
For sure.
So as far as what I gave up, I was similar to Grant. I was like, I'm eating out too much. I'm spending too much money. You know, when you're just doing online school and staying inside, it's easy to just say, oh, I don't want to, especially when you're living off campus, you just like, you don't have, you know, a dining hall to go to. You just say, hey, I can just order out food. And especially like, you know, when you're trying to work out during the week, you don't want to like fuel your body with bad things. And so I'm definitely just trying to get in the habit of not eating fast food anymore, as well as working out more. So those things are kind of intertwined for me this Lent, but it's going good so far. So
absolutely. Things like that just help your mental health too. You know, that on top of prayer, just like you bring a good attitude to every day, and you just feel good about yourself. And I think that's also so important with the world we live in, and just this point in our lives is just to feel good about ourselves and what we're doing. So
I had one thing that I wanted to say. So this was the gospel on Ash Wednesday. This just stood out to me, so I just want to read a little bit. But it says, but when you pray, go to your inner room, close the door, and pray to your Father in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will repay you. Matthew 6:6. So I just want to touch on that. You know, when you're going to pray, what the gospel is saying, don't go out into the streets and proclaim it. You know, shut your door and pray. Get into the habit of doing that every single night, and God will repay you. So I just thought that was something I wanted to point out this week.
Yeah, just not to be prideful, you know, keep it to yourself. just know the
exactly.
difference between pride and going out and telling people, like spreading the good news and pride. So there's a
Yeah,
big difference there. Yeah, that's
yeah.
important.
So I thought that was really cool. Grant, is there anything that you have for us or anything?
Well, yeah, going off that that quote or that gospel
Yeah,
passage, I it's kind of funny too. It's because like a lot of times I will say around here like, "Hey, I'm going to church on Sunday if anybody wants to go," and I almost like think is that like too much? Like
hmm
I don't want to say too much to like make it seem like, oh, but I'm not trying to be like the guy that's like, oh,
exactly.
yeah, like
All you gotta say is, "Oh, do you want to go to church with me this week?" You know, you don't have to go out to the entire room. You just gotta,
and say I'm going to church.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. That's a good point.
That's a
That's a good
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Yeah, but I really appreciate what you guys are doing. You guys are really doing something cool,
Thank you,
I'll
thank you.
continue to follow along
Yeah,
on your guys' journey. Max, I really respect what you're giving up to. I think it's really good. Like I said, for mental health,
Appreciate
that
it.
can take
Thanks,
you.
man.
It can take you a long way. And Josh, thanks for getting this all going.
yeah,
I think what you're
for
doing too
sure.
is awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next show. And
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Thanks for coming on and speaking to us. And
Mhm.
subscribe down below, like and comment on the video. And we'll see you in a couple days. All right, see you
All right.
guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
All right, take care.